I got in a motorcycle accident like immediately. Like everyone who announced what I was doing. I said I'm gonna go and buy a motorcycle in Vietnam, and I'm gonna make my way over to India and Sri Lanka, and it's gonna take like 6 to 8 months. And everyone's like, "You're gonna die." And I was like, "No, I'm fine. I'll figure it out. Like this is what I wanted to do. I have the drive. I'm ready to do it." So yeah, I sold a lot of my things, and I tried to like downgrade and bring as much of my savings up as possible so I can afford this long journey. And yeah, I bought a 5D Mark IV. These guys know the kind of equipment. I wish I could have got a 1D. That'd be nice. It's a type of camera, and yeah, and so I went on this journey, and I was alone for most of the time. Everyone said, "You're not gonna make it. You're gonna die." They were right. Within a week, I got hit by a truck, and I was in a hospital in the northern border of Vietnam near China. I survived. It's funny. I just broke my shoulder, and it's a long
I'm
story.
sure it wasn't funny at the time. I think like now looking back, because we know how that story unfolded and how it turned out, and the fact that you're sitting next to me right now means nothing. You didn't die on
No.
the journey.
It is a dangerous journey, though. I wouldn't suggest it to any person. I would suggest if you're going to be riding a motorcycle anywhere in the world, is wear full gear, which is what I did. I had knee pads on, and I had elbow
Right.
pads and a full helmet, so I was able to survive that accident. But yeah, it was kind of like a christening, like right off the bat. It's like, "Oh, Ben, you think you're going to do this? Bam, here we go." So I felt like I was ready to go after that. Like I was on the brink of just quitting right away, because I was like, this is way more dangerous than I ever could have expected. And I
Yeah.
can't really explain it to anyone who hasn't been to Vietnam specifically. Like Vietnam is, I think, one of the most dangerous places in the world to drive. Worse than like India or anywhere like that. So don't do it if you don't have to. But it caught the attention of people, and that was kind of the purpose of it, is this whole like attention grabbing journey, and people seemed to notice what I was doing, and I got a somewhat of a following on social media, and yeah, so
I think part of them really liked the idea of living vicariously through you. So yeah, from your perspective, it sounds like you were just trying to get people's attention, but the fact that they gave you their attention means you were doing something interesting.
I think it's a dream for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's a very common thing that a lot of, I think, travel photographers do, like the van lifers, things like that. I sold it all and I ran away.
Right.
It's kind of that, like, everyone feels it when they're in the corporate grind, and when they're making a life for themselves. They wake up, they basically, the first thing you do when you wake up is you stare at a screen, and then you get on the bus, you stare at a screen. What do you do when you get to work? You stare at a screen.
Yeah.
And then you get home just so you can stare at your big screen before you go to bed and stare at your little screen again. So you're always just looking outwards. You're never looking at your own life. And that's the reality for most people, was the reality for me for years.